Hi, David Rakovich here from the Stockton Maritime Museum with a special guest. You recognize Ryan Szymanski, Battleship, New Jersey. He and I have spent a week here with 10 intrepid volunteers of the Stockton Maritime Museum, stripping parts off the last operational MSO anywhere in the world that was recently decommissioned. This has been a 3-year project we've been working on. It's all coming to a head this week with us acquiring a lot of much needed gear. Those of you that have been following us, you know we've been talking about this for a while and it's finally come to fruition. Ryan and, like I said, 10 other of our museum volunteers have been out here for a week. We're going to be here for another week, hopefully getting a lot of cool gear. I got to thank the Taiwanese Navy, the Republic of China Navy. They could have not been more gracious in helping us. I've done a number of strip trips. Ryan, you've done more than I have, and they're pretty damn easy to work with, I got to tell you.
Yeah, compared to back home, all the regulations and stuff.
Yeah, the rules here are a lot less lax, but I got to tell you why you haven't seen any photos yet, because we're working on an active Navy base and they don't want any photos out there until we wind this trip up. That's the reason for this video today.
And this is the exact same thing we see when we're doing open houses back home.
Exactly. The first time out here, Don, our chairman of the board, and I came out here last December to talk to these officials about this trip, and we met with actually naval operations. I mean, he sat in the meeting with us. So we've really been treated well by these folks. Everything we've asked for, they've been working with us.
That's the biggest difference from doing one of these back home. Back home, we have to take all of our own parts. Here, we flew in, it was a 14-hour flight. We don't have something to wrap this stuff up on the pallet. They run out to somewhere on base and come back with it.
And this photo on the screen, you could see a half a dozen of these Taiwanese sailors. I think day before yesterday, we might have had 10 of them on board helping us.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All you have to do is grunt a little bit at something, you can't pick it up, and 8 of them will run over there and help you move it. I mean, just incredible. The ship we're working on is USS Implicit, MSO 455, the very last one in service with the United States Navy. We sold it to the Taiwanese in 1995 after 40 years of service. They operated it in 95 when they acquired it for another 30 years, and they just retired it here in July of this year.
That's not bad for a wooden hulled ship.
Unbelievable. How they didn't sail the bottom off of it, I don't know. It's in very good shape. It's complete, obviously, a little worn out, but all the gear on it, all this hard to get gear that was only on MSOs is going to help complete the restoration of our ship.
Yeah, there's just nowhere else you can get the parts Lucid is missing.
Exactly. We've been building some of this stuff, but there's nothing like the real deal. We're excited about getting these 2 containers home. It'll be a while before we get them home with customs and all that. This is going to make a tremendous difference in the appearance of our ship, because all these items, as you know, are rather valuable metals.
Yeah.
Manel anchor chains and anchors and stainless steel hatch covers and just you name it. The fancy taft rail around the back, it's all bronze.
Yeah.
The cranes we got off the back are solid bronze. So you could see how our ship fell prey to the scrappers, all this valuable metal. So I want to thank all of you who have supported us on this trip. We could not have done this without you. We're spending more on this trip than we spend on our annual budget.
Yeah.
It's a small museum with a small budget.
You're an all-volunteer organization,
Yes.
not a single paid employee.
Exactly. And we're going to be here for another week. If you haven't supported us yet and you'd like to support us on this trip, we'd love to have you jump in now and write us a check or go to that PayPal button and help us out. Like I just said, we're going to spend more on this than we spend in our entire average year's budget, but this is the last one. There's no more. And the biggest part of this, of course, is shipping these containers home. It's not cheap to stay here, you know, to have 10 people stay here for 2 weeks.
We've literally carried tons of equipment off of this ship.
We are going to have 2 containers. We're going to reach the limit of 25 or 30 tons on these 2 containers. But shipping them home is not cheap. These containers don't come by cheap. This is a little indifferent from driving up to Bremerton every year and overloading my truck in a trailer, you know, putting twice the legal limit weight on it. This is a little different. What are we, 10,000 miles from California? I mean, it's a ways.
These sort of international strip trips, they don't happen. I can't think of the last time a museum ship got to go overseas and take the parts that they needed. Overseas was the only place you could get your parts. So you spent years setting this up, and that's why I had to be here for this, because it's just never happened before. But hopefully we're able to do it again, because the last place some of these old ships are still operating are places like Taiwan.
Ryan, hopefully you and I can help some of these other museums reach navies like this who are operating former ships of ours that are now 40 and 50 years old.
You've learned a lot of lessons through this, like you couldn't just get these parts back. They have to go back to the Navy.
Right.
So fortunately, Naval History and Heritage Command, the Navy's Curator branch, was willing to work with you and the Taiwanese in a like middleman position.
Exactly. It hasn't been easy, but it's been a 3-year process and we're right at the tail end of it now. And the coolest part about this is there's a hurricane coming. That's not cool.
A typhoon.
A typhoon coming, I'm sorry. There's a typhoon here next week, and there's numerous ships in port that we haven't seen previous to today, but I was telling Ryan about a beautifully, I was going to say restored, but it's not restored. It's an LST.
Still active.
That we gave to them at the end of World War II that's still active, and it came into port today, and we want to show you some pictures of that here and as we're allowed to. But anyhow, to wrap this up, thanks again for your support. We need more help, obviously. Maybe in a week, the censors will get back to us and we'll be able to start allowing the release of some of these photos.
The Taiwanese Navy is doing their part, Naval History and Heritage Command is doing their part, Lucid's volunteers are going above and beyond and doing their part.
Above and beyond.
We just need some supporters to help pay to get these home.
Thank you, and we'll have another update next week, and hopefully some of these photos we can release then. Thanks again.